Welcome to vlog 8. This is for day 10 of the trip. Today in the morning we went to the Airborne Museum for the 82nd and 101st Airborne in the town of Saint-Mère-Église. That took up most of the morning. Then we had lunch with the mayor of the town. Then in the afternoon we went to a battlefields where some airborne had dropped in and took a look around there to get a sense of that geography. And then we had dinner with an association of French citizens who try to keep the memory of D-Day alive. And we had a number of speakers at that dinner. These people were all kids at the time, but they talked about what they remembered and how their childhood changed when the Allied soldiers came in. So the main takeaway from today was from the Airborne Museum. There were a couple of things that I saw there that really piqued my interest. One was a dollar bill that had been torn into 3 sections. And this dollar bill was divided up between 3 friends in the Airborne. And before they dropped, they promised each other that later on, they would reunite that dollar bill, kind of a promise to each other that they would all make it through. Unfortunately, only 2 of the 3 soldiers made it through, and eventually the sections of the dollar bill made their way back to the Airborne Museum. So that's kind of an example to me of an intended legacy that did not get fulfilled. On the theme of legacy, there was also an information panel about Dwight Eisenhower. There were several on him. But one in particular was interesting, that he eventually returned to this town, which was the main objective for the paratroopers after the war. And he buried documents in the area that are not to be opened until 100 years after the D-Day landings. So apparently in the year 2044, unread documents of Dwight Eisenhower about his thoughts about World War II are to be uncovered and unveiled. So in a lot of ways, the legacy of this event has not been fully completed yet. And really, people around the world, and even my students, can play a part in writing that legacy and passing on the memory. So I have made one decision in particular to talk about as far as my project goes. And that is whether or not students have to be able to physically go to the location of the event in order to make it a successful project. My decision on that is no. With the technology available today with virtual reality and Google Earth and satellite imagery and photography and all these things, I feel like we'll be able to get enough of a sense of what the geography was like to be able to make good headway with the project. It's not perfectly ideal. In an ideal world, we would be able to go to all these places, but we might be able to go to similar places to get a sense of certain things. So I think that'll open up a lot more options as far as project possibilities. It'll allow for topics that go beyond just a local scale, which is pretty important. So I think that's the better decision in the long run. So I think that's going to be all for today. I'll keep working on the outline of the project in the upcoming days, so tune in for more on that, and thanks for watching.